Okay, so I prayed for guidance as to what I could do to be of assistance today, and a situation presented itself which made it clear. This is actually my second time doing the first part of this because I'm having those glitchy issues that happen when I'm doing something that is for the good. So bear with me. So this video was something that I wanted to do some time ago. I forgot about it. And then numerous coincidences kept pointing me back in this direction. Spiritual protection. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt and know that the most important tool you have, besides free will, is discernment. What I say that feels right or resonates is my gift to you. What I say that feels wrong, simply let it go. I've noticed that many religious people make anything spiritual seem evil, which is quite ironic as most, if not all, religions are founded by individuals who were extremely spiritual and had many abnormal, weird, or paranormal experiences which one could label spiritual. Furthermore, we all are spirits, and as such, anything we could do could be deemed spiritual. After my last awakening, I was pushed to be less retaliatory, stop eating meat, and to research NDEs, that's near-death experiences. The word NDE literally kept coming to my mind, and I had no idea what that was at the time. Meanwhile, I found out later that my birth itself caused my mother to have an NDE, but that's another story for another day. Now, after years of researching NDEs and now beginning to interview NDEers myself, I am cataloging what I have learned. Among all that I've learned, unlearned, and a multitude of questions these experiences roused, I have come to realize we are not alone, never have been and never will be, probably want to be more, so if we could. And while that's a broad statement, I'll clarify slightly by saying yes to aliens, yes to multidimensionals, yes to lost souls, yes to dark entities and energies, yes to angels and positive celestial energies, and finally, last but never least, yes to the source of it all. And now with that said, we are currently in a dimension of extreme duality. I've heard this countless times, I've seen it with my own eyes, and the idea just resonates with me. There are two paths, which you can label as you like, but I'll just simplify it and say good and evil. And one of our many tests here is to pick a team and to stick with it, at least till the end of this class. And now with that foundation set, I will move into the purpose of this video. If you agree with me that there is good and evil here, and keep in mind that I believe that at the source level, so high way up there, duality does not exist in the same way it does here. I do believe that source God, aka the one and infinite creator of all, in its infinite wisdom, realized that what we would term goodness must always win ultimately, and must be the norm or chosen way at the management level or higher realms, as evil is destructive and cannibalistic. To be infinite, one must choose goodness. If you don't agree, please feel free to kindly and respectfully voice your viewpoint in the comment section. So, in this realm of duality, one might even say this battleground between good and evil, we spirits must stay the course of the path we have chosen and protect ourselves, our loved ones, and brethren from those who would seek to consume them. And so how does one do that? If you have chosen the path of goodness and are striving to do what you deem right to yourself and towards others, and come across a demon incarnate or discarnate or possessing or influencing another being, how do you protect yourself? Well, firstly, for some who consider themselves light workers or masters, they might not see these dark energies as threats per se, but as catalysts, teachers. In the raw material, they are named negative friends. In the master, or the person would see what this dark energy wanted to convey, and work to transmute this darkness back to its original state of love. This, of course, is not to be done by a novice, and there are plenty of examples of the danger of said entities. And if you read the raw material in its epilogue, you'd know this to be true. So for the average person who feels they are at risk or under attack from negative energies, what do you do? Well, I will list a few things I have learned or have used myself and found useful. Especially during these times, I feel like as if we're going to need this information much more than, maybe yesteryear. Again, this is my opinion, and it is your job as a seeker of truth to do your own research, experimentation, prayers, meditation, etc. to find your own truths. So here is the list of techniques for spiritual protection. So the first, and these are not in any particular order, by the way. So the first is pray. All day, every day. Some pray one time a day, some pray 3 times a day, others 5 times a day. I personally suggest you pray all the time. Anytime you think you need it, pray. What is a prayer exactly? It's a plea, a discussion, a word directed to Source God. Be clear who you are praying to. Be clear what you are asking. Do not pray ill will to another, for all is God, and you cannot ask God to harm itself without repercussions. Some examples of prayer are the Lord's Prayer in the Bible. Certain Psalms like 91 and 23 are ones that people use as prayers. The opening in the Quran, and certain sayings in Islam like Bismillah. For Jews, I don't know how to pronounce this, but the Hashgivenu prayer. You can make up your own prayer, but again, be careful with your word choice and know God knows clearly what is in your heart. Even if the words fail, you will not. Okay, so that's prayer. And I'll just add a note that a lot of NDEers have used some of these things like the Lord's Prayer, and I was even surprised that some people don't know how to pray. Like, you really sometimes forget there's so many people out there, with so many different backgrounds and so many different experiences. And there are those that literally have no idea what prayer is and have never done it a day in their life. And there was one such NDE experience where the guy ends up in hell and he's trying to figure out how to pray. And he finally figured some words in the Lord's Prayer, and it helped him to get out of that dark space that he was in. Okay, fasting. So cleansing and purifying your body and removing its power over your spirit can help to enhance the power of your spirit and thus your ability to protect yourself. There are many who have these experiences either out of body, astral, or near death, who express how powerful and big we are as spirits as opposed to this puny body. So your first means of protection generally is, yourself. And if that's the case, then you want to make sure that you're putting more energy and power into your spirit as opposed to letting the body take over. Fasting, which is simultaneously cleansing the body and removing its power over the spirit, can help the spirit to connect more easily with higher levels and thus increase protection and, really help your connection with God's source. So to help it make it more secure, I guess, or more clear. Not entirely necessary because God can get to you no matter what, but just saying that this is a way that a lot of people have, used over since the beginning of time to get closer to God. And to get that power. Power of protection, sorry. All right, so cleanliness. So cleaning your mind, body, and physical surroundings is a great way to make it uncomfortable for dark energies. Speak to anyone who has experienced demonic attacks or had an experience of visiting hell, and they say it stinks like crazy. It's filthy and gruesome. Demons don't like things to be neat and tidy. It's just their thing. I'll add in here purification of all types. So if you're cursing, violent, gossiping, manipulating, speaking, thinking, acting negatively, or hurting others, taking drugs, filling your body with chemicals, preservatives, junk food, all of this creates an environment that is prone to baser energies and thus lower entities. Like attracts like. If you are living similar to a demon, they will be stuck to you like glue regardless of these techniques, because they'll easily mistake you for their bestie. They'll think that, you're one of them. And so they're like, hey, what's your problem? Let's hang out. you know? So you want to start to differentiate yourself from them, and start moving in a different way and have a different frequency. Okay, so salt. This is actually something that was also mentioned in extreme detail in the raw material. But, if you ever get a chance to read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the power of salt. Salt is crystals. And those who know the power of crystals, know about crystals. They know that the power of crystals to ward off energies. You can place salt across the threshold of your home, your room, and have the intention to ward off evil. There are some that say you can place a pinch of salt under your pillow to ward off bad dreams. Can't say that I've tried it, but let me know if it works for you. And the beach, due to the wealth of salt there, is extremely therapeutic physically and spiritually. So if you can safely go to a beach when the weather is calm, then soak in the good vibes and heal your spirit. Frankincense, very, very powerful. It's one of the most powerful and time-honored methods to ward off evil. You can research and find out why this is helpful, but ultimately, all of these methods must be experimented by you to determine if it is effective or not. With frankincense, you burn it. It comes in, you get the resin, and then make sure you get the resin, not the artificially scented incense or cones. And the resin comes from a tree. I'll show a picture of the tree. So these little, I guess you would say, like, they look like little rocks, but you burn them, or you burn a piece of charcoal and then place it over it. And you can easily Google and find different ways of to safely burn frankincense. But that smoke is something that does seem to clear in the air and remove any negative energies. With any of these techniques that use fire, make sure you use extreme caution and follow the instructions. So sage smudge stick and Palo Santo stick. So saging is a great way to cleanse your space. I've been doing it for decades. And there are studies that say the smoke may actually physically clear the space of certain types of airborne bacteria. The effects may not be as strong and long lasting as frankincense, but it will do for the average person who doesn't have like extreme, negative, demonic activity or energies attacking or piggybacking. It also is just very soothing. You notice that when you burn sage, you just kind of want to rest and relax. So if you have issues with anxiety, this will be a great way to clear your space as well. So set the intention to clear the space, and you may want to speak this intent while spreading the smoke throughout your space or around your body carefully. Palo Santo is also used for the same purpose. Choose the one that you like the most and feels most effective. Besides these two things, so besides sage and Palo Santo, there are other herbs that you can burn for, like good luck and protection. And, this is just something that you can research, look up. I know some people use juniper, rose petals, these are all things that are higher, frequency, whatever, and help to dispel negative energies. And with anything, again, when using fire, use extreme caution and make sure you follow instructions. You can find tons of videos on how to properly smudge using these sticks. Okay, so the next one is holy water. So, while there are some who think water has to be sanctified to be holy, and, you have people who will, get it directly from a church, etc. I don't quite believe that. I think, I agree with Masaru Emoto, who is the one who, he has his belief in how you can put a certain intent or change the molecular structure of water by putting in certain intent. So with that said, it may be possible for you to just place the intent of positivity, lovingness, clarifying intent towards a bottle of water, and it thus make it something that is considered holy water. And this is something that you would have to experiment on and see if you feel like it's actually working, or you're just looking around like, what is this? But like most of these things, you have to believe. You have to believe in order to really make it work. So you can add a little, once you put that intent in the water, sometimes you want to, especially if you're just starting out, you want to do this on a regular basis, maybe for like a week or so, put that intent in the water, and maybe see it filled with the light of love or positivity, and speak positive words over it. And then look into Masaru Emoto's research, so you can see what he did in order to change the molecular structure of the water. So, using maybe written words under it with love, or playing certain music. All right, so once you have created your holy water through intent and through those means, then you can also add maybe a little salt if you like, or essential oils known for protection. So that's like rose petal oil, bay leaf oil, holy basil, cedar wood, and let it sit somewhere clean, secure, and use as needed. I personally will put it in a spray bottle, in a glass spray bottle if you can. I've heard that the base of the back, and even the full entire back, is where dark entities like to hang out. So you might want to spritz there just to, keep things clean and clear. So let me know if you do this and your experience within, what your experience is with your homemade holy water. So the next one, angels. There are many who see angels as messengers or aspects of Source God that were made for the purpose of protecting mankind and delivering messages to mankind. There are various types of angels. You'll hear things like cherubs and seraphim, and they have differing responsibilities. And there's also the archangels, who seem to stand above the others, although there are many who say that there is no true hierarchy among the angels. I am hesitant to just throw this technique out there, as there is much trickery and deception and manipulation on the part of the dark side, and hijacking. That's another big thing too. So calling anyone or anything besides God's source could be potentially dangerous if you don't know who you're calling, or how to confirm that that's who it is that you're, calling. However, during an extremely unsafe time in my life, I felt compelled to call on Archangel Michael, and I quickly saw both results, received protection, and saw the telltale signs of his presence. Of course, again, I must emphasize that there are tricksters out there that try to play the part of the most prominent beings sought after for protection. So that's like Jesus, Mother Mary, and Archangel Michael. Also, I have reason to believe I was visited by Archangel Gabriel around the same time, and know many religious people who, while they say that all spirituality is evil, have also attested to communicating with one of these archangels. Moreover, all three of the Abrahamic religions are full of stories of people and prophets communicating with angels and archangels. So while this is a way to seek protection, please do your research, make sure your intent is clear as possible, and then ask and you shall receive. Okay, so the let's see. Okay, so the evil eye. Eyes are prevalent in the spiritual world. In the Bible, angels are described as having numerous eyes about their physique. There's the all-seeing eye found in many places, and I've come across a handful of Indie ears who saw this all-seeing eye during their near-death experience. So for many cultures, there is a form of the evil eye protection, which usually is just an image of an eye that is put on jewelry in front of doors and cars, etc. It is purportedly able to deflect any evil intent sent by another and ward off evil. Like many of these techniques, you must first and foremost believe in its efficacy. We hold the power of all of this within, and these practices are only as effective as we believe them to be. Hamsa. So the Hamsa hand is a universal sign of protection. It is said to originate from ancient Mesopotamia. In Islam, it is known as the hand of Fatima, and in Judaism as the hand of Miriam. The fact that this symbol is shared and used by these two religions is telling in itself, and could be a whole nother discussion. It is used to ward off the evil eye and negative energies and entities. Okay, so let's see. White gold light. So you may also surround yourself in a white or golden colored light. This is done through in like a spherical circle around yourself. This is done through intent and visualization. Just imagine yourself being surrounded by the light of your choice and warding off all dark energies or entities. There are many that say that white light is great, but may also attract too much attention of dark energies like a beacon. Remember that these dark energies for these dark energies. There is no direct energy source to live off of once they have been cut off to some extent from Source God. They must consume the life energy of others to survive. Do you want them eating off of you? Probably not. So guard your energy and make it clear that it is only for you and those you expressly share it with. There are around us at any given moment tons of energies, entities, varying types and dimensions. If they are in higher dimensions, they potentially have the ability to see your thoughts, your life book, and as such can then trick you by acting like family or loved ones who have passed on, your religious figures, ascended masters, or a really hot alien babe or dude. This is why discernment is so important. The more you purify yourself and build an intimate relationship with the one and infinite creator of all, that which was not created, has no father or mother, you shall have a better chance of avoiding these tricks. Simply pray or meditate and ask for guidance, direction, and signs when confronted with these type of situations. Okay, so the next one that I thought was pretty helpful will be laughter, love, and joy. Yes, sometimes it's just that simple. If you're sitting in a dark room, watching porn, drinking spirits, or doing some other form of drug or plant medicines that have ties to spirits and are being abused and not being used respectfully, then you are making an environment ripe for lost souls that resonate with any of these activities to sit and watch you with envy. Or worse, full-blown demonics to come and try to possess you at your weakest via these open portals. Depression is also such a portal, so even if you don't have any vices per se, but are chronically depressed or temporarily depressed, you may become a target. So while sadness is a part of life, and especially in this low-level realm, try your best to pull out of it as fast as safely humanly possible. Many times these bad thoughts in your mind are not your own, or they're just not yours. It gets deep, and I'll just leave it at that. Try to find something to hold on to that will bring you into a state of laughter, love, and joy. These emotions are higher vibrational and piss demons off. And if you want to get them off your back even quicker, send them love. And that segues into the next one. Surround them in love. There are those that believe that dark energy cannot withstand the power of love energy. This has to be a pure and unconditional divine love energy. Surround them in it. State this out loud in your head and or imagine them being surrounded in the white light and infinite love of Source. I ask that Source God pull them into this light and surround them in its unconditional divine love. This is the one thing that darkness cannot withstand. They will scatter and fast. So another one that has been very helpful for me is holy music. I'm not Christian, but I have learned to love gospel music. There is just something about praise music, whether it be Christian, gospel music, melodic Islamic recitation of the Holy Quran, meditation music, mantras, you name it. If it is praising God, demons run from it. And the plus is it will put you in a higher state of being and increase your vibration. There is some form of power in music. I myself have heard the music of the spheres at odd times in my life, and it is truly heavenly. Okay, so sound, this is kind of connected to the last one. Sound, frequency, color, and gemstones. In the same way that music can repel a dark mood and dark energies, so too can sound, frequency, and color, which are all interconnected. In my opinion, higher frequencies repel dark energies, but this is my opinion. If you have experienced heavenly choirs or angels singing or the music of the spheres, you realize some sounds cannot coincide with negativity. Color-wise, turquoise or light blue or blues and purple are, in my opinion, very protective. Google Haint blue paint, and you'll see this color was used historically on front doors and on the ceilings of the entryways to ward off evil. These are also coincidentally higher vibrational colors if you look at their coinciding frequencies. I'll segue here by saying turquoise is a protective color, and thus the prevalence of turquoise stone by Native Americans as a form of protection. Gemstones are living beings, and if you research deep enough, you realize that they can be quite protective. Some protective gemstones alongside turquoise are quartz, rose quartz, selenite, amethyst, labradorite, tiger's eye, onyx, black tourmaline, black agate, obsidian, hematite. The list goes on. Experiment and see which ones feel protective to you. Okay. And the last one that I've mentioned throughout all of this is discernment. As mentioned before, there are beings around us with many powers who can easily manipulate and trick us. There is also the false light, and I've noticed in some near-death experience testimonies, there is a big question mark about the true identity of entities that take the form of Jesus, ascended masters, saints, and even God. So ultimately, your first level of protection is being able to intuit or feel what is truth and what is not, what feels good and what does not. So that's pretty much it. That's all for now. If I come across more, I'll make a part 2 of this video. This was made with absolute love and care for my fellow brothers and sisters on the path of goodness and enlightenment. I truly hope this was helpful to you, and I'll leave it at that. Blessings. Peace.